It was a gloomy day when I was leaving the Czech Republic. A bus drove me to the west into Germany and to the Bavarian city of Nuremberg. Nuremberg is a picturesque city, and its old town, or Oststadt, is like a maze of gingerbread houses. At the town square of Hauptmarkt, an outdoor market offers a variety of things to eat and shop as souvenirs. A little bit uphill, the Kaiserberg has great vistas of the city to take in. Plus, it's a wonderful place to explore and get lost in for a while. But coming to Nuremberg, my aim was to sample the famous little bratwurst known as the Nuremberger.
It's only produced in Nuremberg, so you probably can't find it anywhere else in Germany. So yeah, let's dig in.
The city is well known for its history. At the German National Museum, one can admire the exhibits of German culture from prehistoric times to the present day, including the oldest existing globe in the world. There's a lot of history to take in the city alone, but none is more prominent than the position it was during the Nazi era. The Documentation Center, built at the former rally grounds of the Nazi, provides visitors with some deep understanding of the historical events during the dictatorship, from the rise of the NSDAP to the proclamation of the Nuremberg Laws in 1935. After the war, the city became the very place for the Nuremberg trials. German officials of war crimes were executed shortly after the conclusion of the trials in October 1946. Nuremberg has seen different chapters in its history. The city has moved on to a brighter future, and it continues to hope for better days ahead. About an hour south, there's the town of Regensburg. It is a very small place, yet it is charming with its many cafes and the position of sitting next to the Danube River. The St. Peter's Cathedral, or the Dome of Regensburg, is a beloved landmark in the city. It has a beautiful interior and a peaceful ambience too. Stroll across the stone bridge is a quintessential thing to do in town, and wait until nighttime on the other side to watch an illuminating show of the cathedral. There's nothing as magical as this in Regensburg. Little did I know, it was time for me to head to Munich, the largest city in Bavaria. I spent a day checking out the Olympia Park and taking in everything in a little calmer pace, before meeting my Kontiki crew as we headed to the Hofbrauhaus for a beer-fueled experience. Well, the next day, it was the start of our experience in the world's largest beer festival. And you guessed it, the Oktoberfest. From Oompa band music to dancing on tables, it's truly a beer-filled madness in one beer tent alone. You just have to shell out 11 euros for a big good mass of beer and join the fun. I definitely couldn't recall what had happened that night. Escaping from the drunkenness of the festival, I headed into the Alps, to the town of Füssen, and then Hohenschwangau. This is where the iconic Neuschwanstein castle is located, and to get a spectacular view of it, I tracked my way to the bridge of Marienbrück, and right there, like a living fairy tale, a mesmerizing view of the castle. Following the crowds on a hillside path, I arrived to the very front of the castle. It was very touristy when I was there, but getting to look at the castle close up and the addition of having several stunning viewpoints, it was easy to forget about everyone around me. The siren of the train was calling. I left Germany and ventured deeper into the Alps, and arrived to the Austrian border town of Falkirk. This was a stopover point for me, as I made my way into the microstate of Liechtenstein. Liechtenstein, one of the smallest countries in Europe, is sandwiched between Austria and Switzerland. This is one of the places that I dream of visiting, with its gorgeous mountain views and serenity in its empty fields. It felt just like I was in paradise. Oh, and here's Steiner. He's the cutest cat ever. Vaduz is the capital and business hub of the country. Well, the first thing that I did there was to get myself a unique passport stamp from the tourism center. Next door is the Post Museum, with an elaborated display of the history and special collection of stamps from the country. Overlooking the city is the Vaduz Castle. It has been the official residence of the princely family of Liechtenstein since 1938. You can't enter into the castle, but you definitely can hike a tiny trail to the top and see its exterior. Just to the north of the castle, below the hills, the princely family owns a winery, with vineyards that grant the perfect view of the castle and the mountains adjacent to it. Look at this, I'm in a vineyard in the middle of Vaduz. Like, mind-blowing. Vaduz's location on the other side of the Rhine River means it's just right next door to Switzerland. Here, you can walk on this wooden bridge and get to the country within 5 minutes. So yeah, I just walked through that bridge over here, and I'm in Switzerland. Pretty cool, huh? And that's Liechtenstein over there. The next day, I headed to higher heights into Nuremberg, and to my surprise, there were llamas. Now what you're looking at. Further up, there's the village of Maulbrunn. I was visiting during low season, as it's a ski village, but the greenery of the mountain slopes really took my breath away. From sheep grazing on the fields to the edelweiss that I found here, this was a heavenly place to end my time here in Liechtenstein, and I hope to be back one day. Bidding goodbye to the Principality, I headed west into Switzerland and had a quick stopover in the city of Zurich. Switzerland's largest city sits on the northern bank of the lake of the same name, makes it a picturesque place to be in. One thing it's known for is being the most expensive city in the world. That kinda stopped me from lingering in the city for a longer period of time. But I truly love its elegant and simplistic atmosphere. I hop on another train, and this time into the Bernese Oberland. Passing a few towns and gorgeous mountain views later, I arrive into the village of Lauterbrunnen. Like a mystical town in a fictional storybook, Lauterbrunnen is made out of pure magic. It's one of the most beautiful places out there, and I bet not a lot of descriptions can fully live up to its name. Surrounded by some of the most dramatic settings in this part of the Alps, it is truly an adventure playground. After a nice cup of coffee, a gondola took me to the upper station of Gunsta, where I started my first mountain trek during my time in the area. From here, views of the iconic peaks of Eiger, Monch, and Jungfrau were a constant distraction for me. The trek had me passing through green meadows and more incredible views of the snowy summits, before reaching to the village of Muren. There, another gondola took me straight down to the foothills, where cows were seen grazing in the evergreen fields. But that's not the only trek I did there. The next morning, I took a train up to a higher place. This was perhaps the most spectacular train ride I've ever taken, as it ventured through different bends that grant amazing views of the valley and the jagged peaks that tower around the area. Kleine Scheidegg, at an elevation of 2,061 meters, became my starting point of my second hike. It was in early October, and this place felt like I was in the middle of winter.
So guys, it's only October right now, but there's actually snow, like legit snow on the ground, and this makes me so happy.
While the majority of visitors transfer here to head up to Jungfraujoch, I joined the handful of people that were here to do some hiking. These soaring mountains were absolutely breathtaking. Fortunately, I got to enjoy all this to myself. So I've been walking on this trail for quite a while now, and I didn't see anybody. So it's just me and Mother Nature. So yeah, this is so awesome. Following the yellow signs, I hiked my way down to the village of Wenge. Passing through the woods and spotting some wild alpine flowers, and eventually the village appeared right in front of me. A couple hours to the north of the village, there's the capital city of Bern. It's a charming old city with a good-looking historic center. Even Schweizer the cat loved the view. Talking about a good-looking historic center, it is characterized by the famous Ziegler, which plays a tourist favorite show on every hour. This is a city that also knows how to keep the Swiss tradition alive. Here, you can listen to Alpine horns and sample some cheese. Honestly, I wasn't here for long. Switzerland has easily become one of my favorite countries. Its incomparable scenery, amazing train rides, friendly animals encounters,
Guten Morgen.
and of course, its nicest people, paired with a heartwarming fondue.
Oh my god, thank goodness.
Hardly anywhere I've been can match with the experiences I had here. So I would like to say, thank you, Switzerland.